Okay, so let's see, make sure I get. Alright, so let's see. Give me just a second, guys. I am setting up. I am setting up my other phone so I can keep an eye on comments while this one is busy. Hi, Pomp. Give me just a second there. Ah, here we go. All right, got that set up. I'm lagging just a little bit, but that shouldn't affect anything. All right, so there we go. All right. So today we are going to do the garlic butter steak bites and creamy Parmesan noodles. For right now, what you guys are going to see most is just a bunch of prep work. So that's not going to be too big a deal. Honestly, I figure you guys all know how to, probably know how to cut up steak and all that. So, but before we get started, let me wash my hands real quick and get my knives. All right, now. So I laid up paper towel underneath of my cutting board because when you're cutting raw meat, it never fails. You are going to have some juice come out, and I don't want it all over my counter, so or all over me. Usually, when I'm working in the kitchen, I have two knives. I have a small paring knife, and then what's called a Sudoku style kitchen knife. I like these better because you can't, I don't know if you can see it, but there are grooves along the blade of this one that helps release, especially if you're doing meat and cheese, so it doesn't stick to your knife. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our meat up. I've got two thick ribeye steaks here. Now you can see they do have kind of thing of fat here. I will be cutting that off. But if you look at the meat, you can see where the little bit of fat is. This is going to be a really good steak if you just want steak. If there's a lot of fat in the meat, it's going to be juicy, but then it's also going to be sort of flavorless. You can age a steak if you want to. And if anybody's interested, I can do a video on how to age a steak in your refrigerator. Not quite the same as the fancy guys do it, but there is actually a reason why they do that. It intensifies the flavor. Remove a lot of the moisture, and what you're left with is a bunch of flavor. Well, this one doesn't want to cooperate, but we're not going to lose that much of it anyway. This is why I like the small paring knife, though, because with the small paring knife, you can obviously get into tighter places, and you lose less of your meat that way. There is always going to be a little bit of loss, though, because, I mean, it's almost impossible to completely fillet the fat out of any piece of steak. Take that little end piece there because that'll be nice and juicy. And you want to make sure you get all the tendons out of it. Because honestly, one of the worst things about biting into a steak bite is if you get gristle and fat instead of meat. You don't want that. All right, so we are going to leave a little bit on because this has got some flavor in it. And we're just going to cut it in approximately 1-inch pieces. I say approximately because I don't know anybody who takes I don't know anybody that takes a ruler to their meat when they're cutting it up. I'm not really that anal about it. You just want to get them about 1 inches and try to make them 1 inches or not. You want to try and make them about the same thickness because of the cook time. So
oh, hang on. I gotta come in.
Okay, Mom. Yeah, there's a little bit of lag between what you're seeing and what I'm saying. Hi, Spange. Nice to see you, dear.
Hi, Spange. Actually,
But yeah, we just do this. And like I said, I'm going to leave a little bit of the fat on the smaller bites because this will cook off and it will help just really flavor the meat itself.
okay, so what I like with this is I like it to be cut up and stir fried.
Yeah, we're not
gonna, I like the fat.
We're not going to do that. Yeah, please do me a favor, turn it down.
Yeah.
So I'm not catching reverb. Yeah. So we just get our bites cut up. Like I said, they're about the same. If you don't like the 1-inch pieces, these might be a bit big for you. You can always cut them down. Just try to make sure that you get your meat cut to about the same size because of the cook time. So you don't want to have. I mean, I don't mind a mostly raw steak. I eat mine. Basically, you take it out of the field, wipe its rear end, cut a chunk off, and set it in front of me. But for steak bites, you want them well cooked. And as you can see how the meat's kind of getting a little bit, it's just kind of coming out like that. Okay, so that's going to be really tender. The connective tissues are not real strong. Connective tissues are not real strong with this.
Yeah, what kind of steak was this one?
This one is a couple of ribeyes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I used the sirloin for the fajitas last night.
Yep. Oh, those fajitas were so good. You guys missed it last night.
You're not laughing at people. These are mean.
It was good.
At least I'm not like laughing at them and teasing them.
I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing with them.
I don't see them laughing though. In fact, I'm looking at the comments and I don't see anybody laughing.
Miss Patsy, come over here and join the fun.
You are more than welcome to sit in, dear.
Get your coffee and come over here and enjoy the fun. And then here in just a little bit, you and I will go grab the cart, take it out to your car so we can unload your car.
So we've got the meat cut up
here. Did you see this? Oh. Now read the back of it.
Now, if you two ladies can't be quiet while I'm doing this, I'll have to kick it out of the kitchen.
That's Spange says I'm not laughing. Well, I'm sorry, Spange. Yeah, but it was good last night.
Spange missed out. So
yeah, it was really good last night.
Nice, Mom. Quit teasing everybody.
Well,
and thank you guys for being here. Like I said, it usually takes about a half an hour for me to really get started. And I know Mariah has a premiere. I'm definitely going to catch that. I caught part 1 of that, and oh my God, I'm so ready to get the next part of that adventure.
Oh, you got Miss Patsy in the camera.
No, that's okay. So, we have our meat cut up.
Yep. What next?
We are going to wash our knives real quick. Rinse them off. Because the next part's the fun part.
What's next?
The next part is if you got any anger issues or you want to smack somebody in the head, this is where it gets fun and you can pretend that these little garlic cloves are the person you're mad at's head. Hi, Raven. I didn't actually do a video with the
Hi, Raven.
with the fajitas because I kind of figure most of you guys probably know how to make fajitas. If you don't, I'll be more than happy to show you guys on a video. With my work schedule, most of mine will probably be videos for a while anyway, till I get that figured out.
Are you going to show us how to deskin those again?
Yes, I'm going to show you how to skin them.
Awesome.
Fancy
nose. We should do real garlic. My daughter is the
guys.
chef.
Here's the deal. If you want to skin one real fast, lay it down like that so that it's, you know, kind of stable. Lay your knife down and just like that. Then the garlic clove basically peels right out. There's your garlic. Now, I currently am not having any anger issues, but, you know, it's always fun to smash stuff. Like I said, I'll say it every time. Play with your food. It's very fun. Trust me. I know. I do it all the time. Now, every now and then, if you smush a little too hard, you get one try to fall apart on you. But they all come out of the skin. So no big deal on that. I did not. I am doing a cooking video. I'm not worried about the cats just yet. We'll have a chat with the cats after the video. Okay. When all we have to do is worry about, you know, talking.
Right.
Because this one is not going to be an oven recipe, so there's no really going to be any downtime between when I start cooking and when I get done.
That is pretty true.
You do want to make sure, guys, to cut the ends off. I normally do that before I smash them, but I was kind of excited about smashing them, so you know.
She gets excited about her food. Cooking. She said cooking.
No, I get excited about food. Trust me.
Spam says, yep, smash it.
So after you have it smashed, then you just take your nice little kitchen knife here and chop, 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 chop. Don't do this though, because then it just starts flying everywhere. Trust me. I know it's you know, you want to be like the super chef and go pop, 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 pop. No, dude, don't do that. Don't do that.
Be the super chef and rock it.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it does take a bit to process this stuff. That's why a lot of people will buy the minced garlic, but this calls for a tiny dice, and the minced garlic is not minced enough. So even if I had like the jarred minced garlic, I would still have to be doing this. And quite frankly, I just prefer when you're doing something like this and it says garlic steak bites, that means garlic is the one of the two main characters in your dish. It should be one of the primary flavors of your dish. They don't have to see my head. They need to see the cooking, not my head. I'm not cooking my head today. No, I need it on my shoulders. I mean, I got a job interview tomorrow, so
kind of need your head on your shoulder.
Probably ought to have my head. Teresa would probably look at me really weird and go, where in the world, what in the world? Never mind, I'm not going to ask. Go find your head and then come back.
I've lost my ever-loving mind. I need to go find it.
No, that's not a problem. Teresa's lost her ever-loving mind, too. She's got to deal with Jim every day.
Well, that's, no. Yeah, I've lost my ever-loving head. I have to go find it.
All right, so now that we've got the steak bites and the garlic done, we're going to move over to the stove after I rinse the garlic sticky off my hands. Because it's actually stickier than you think.
Right. So is anybody saying anything besides the Raven? Yep, smash it. Nobody said nothing else.
No.
So, all right, just making sure.
No, this one's actually pretty good. I like the fact that I like StreamYard a lot better than I do Streamlabs. It doesn't seem to freeze. That was another reason why I went ahead and did a live last night. I mean, other than the fact that I was bored, I wanted to make sure that it was going to run good.
Right.
All right, so now
we're going to unplug.
We're going to unplug the phone.
Yeah. And
I'm going to take you with me over to the stove.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you guys already know I use cast iron, so I'm not even going to tell you what kind of pan I'm using. Y'all already know. Cooking in my kitchen, or I'm doing the cooking for you, I'm using cast iron. So, here.
Just Shazza.
Hi, Cheza. So, you just made it.
I'm starving, just waiting.
Pump, it's okay. We're not smashing anything important. We just smashed the garlic. So, we put the olive oil in there. Now this one, I will give you a close-up on. I should have preheated the stove, but it won't take long. This one I will give you a close-up on because you're going to need to see what the garlic looks like before you pull it off. So, oh, wait, I'm forgetting a step. Hold on, guys. I'm forgetting a step. Before you throw the garlic in, please remember to cook your meat. So you're gonna just toss it on in there with a little salt and pepper.
I just snorted.
Did you say snark?
Snorted, yes.
That's what I figured it was. Jeez, you got it coming out of both ends, woman. Thank good Lord you don't stink. Guys, this is what I have to deal with. I'm telling you. She slave drives me all day, then she makes me cook her dinner, and then she comes in and farts on me.
The real shrimp says hello, hello.
Hi, Andrew. So we're going to get these steak bites cooked nice and brown. You can hear the sizzle. Probably ought to turn it down on the sizzle because you don't want to burn them before the inside gets done.
Yeah,
Ah! Escapees! Escapees!
it jumped.
5-second rule.
It's on clean stuff. So
Yeah.
It's all good.
Trust me, I know how clean your stove is. I can freaking eat off of it.
You know, you can actually fry it.
You probably could, but I'm not really sure you'd want to actually fry an egg just on your burn.
Well,
I mean, I know you probably could. You tried it, haven't you?
I didn't intentionally do it because the egg kind of jumped out of the pan.
How does an egg jump out of a pan?
Oh, I was stirring it. And it jumped out of the pan and onto the burner, and I just took my spatula.
Yeah.
And I just this and back into the pan it went. I know you can actually cook on a glass stove top.
But you're not supposed to. But
No,
I
you're
suppose in theory it would work because it's a solid stove.
Right. So
if y'all are not laughing at her right now, so
it's okay.
If y'all are not laughing, you will be later. This is craziness in the kitchen when she and I are in here.
Yes, it is.
So, depending on how well done you like them, mine are going to be well done. This is the only time I eat steak well done. Because, you know, just a steak on a plate, you better, don't tell me if you eat it anything more than medium. Because that's just a sacrilege. That's killing the steak.
Medium. Yeah, Paul likes his well done.
See, I don't like mine well done. I know people that do like their well done. But I'm like, I don't like eating shoe leather. So, you know, I do mine rare.
Well, if you want yours rare, you may want to do some out.
Oh, no, not for something like this, because this is going to be a combo meal. The meat is going in combo with other stuff. Anytime you put meat into a dish, you want to make sure it's well done.
Oh, that's right, because of the blood.
Yes, yes. It's different if you're just eating a steak. Although, if it's a pork or chicken, it better be well done anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But, all right, now that we got them mostly done, we can go ahead and kick the heat back up to get them browned and to cook the liquid out of them. We're browning them. We're not going to stew them. So we're going to get these done. And then we got to pull them out of the pan once they're browned.
We're going to put them.
We're going to put them in a bowl. Because you got to set them aside first.
What's this?
That is some of the sausage stuff from the other day.
Yeah.
I never did get around to using it, so it's probably not any good.
Okay, so we can pour it.
Yes, we can pour it out.
The reason I was asking is because you can put this meat in this.
All right, so.
And it won't break. If you can pour it into that.
Well, I know people who do eat theirs well done. Like I said, I don't prefer to, but Cheza, honestly, you you get the cow, you pull it out of the enclosure, you wipe its butt end off, cut a hunk and slap it on my plate. I like mine rare. I like mine still bleeding. I don't want just a little pink. I want it bloody.
Look there, I look like I'm coming out of the fall.
You do. But people are gonna think you've lost your ever loving. Never mind.
I have.
They probably already do think you've lost your ever loving mind. Okay, so this is gonna take a minute.
Hi,
So,
cat.
oh, cool. Cat's in. Hello, darling. So we're gonna bring this back over here because we're just gonna wait for all the juices and stuff to come out of it.
I don't think I can do that.
Right. Well, now
well done.
for this, it's definitely got to be well done because, like I said, anytime you put meat into a dish, it can cause cross contamination if it's not well done. There we go. That's better.
You have not been on the quick boil burning, and that's what I wanted. They want.
All right, so I don't know. Maybe it didn't like the fact that I turned it upside down. Oh, I might have. All right, so now that these are done, well, we want to keep the flavored olive oil. So when your steak bites are well done, like these, you're gonna put them over into a bowl.
Hi, cat.
Which you should probably use a spoon for this, not one of those, because no, I shouldn't need a bigger bowl. I just gotta have a spoon with slots in it because I don't want to get all my olive oil out the pan along with the meat.
Oh.
So we grab this out of here. You might actually have to put more olive oil in it.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna disappear for a little while, so I'll see you guys back here in just a little bit.
Yeah, she's got some projects she's doing today too. She's acquired some more dolls. Creepy things.
Oh, you know what? They said I love how you take us around the kitchen as you cook, Cynthia. It's like I'm there.
Well, that's kind of the intent.
Need smell-o-vision.
I know.
I know, right?
I wish they had smell-o-vision, but of all the things they have managed to invent so far.
Thank you, Kat. So does Cindy when she lets it down.
I don't think they've ever seen it full length.
I don't think so either.
So I'm just gonna add a little bit more olive oil, and while the pan is still hot, now we're gonna add the garlic.
I'll do that.
All right. So now we're gonna add the garlic, because we don't forget to cook your meat. Always cook your meat. So you just add the garlic all in, all of it, every last bit. You want it all. If you really love garlic, you might even add a little more than that. It's 4 cloves is what the recipe calls for. Which I try to always make sure that when I first do a recipe, because this is a brand new recipe to me, I've never made this before. So we're all going to see how this turns out. Because this, I may burn it. I don't know. I may totally screw it up. It happens. But anyway, I always try to make sure to do the recipe the right way the first time before I start adjusting it, so I know what everything's supposed to taste like. And it says to cook the garlic until it starts to give off a really strong smell. Like, garlic has a smell anyway. But we'll give it a couple of minutes to cook. Oh, I have coffee over here. Sorry. I'm going to have to grab my coffee. I stopped using creamer because they make this stuff. It's coffee flavor. It's a coffee flavoring. They have all kinds of flavors, but whenever I started reading it, it got less sugar, less calories, less fat, less of all the good stuff in it. Well, all the bad stuff for you in it than those coffee flavorings. So you still get the flavor, you just don't get all the other crap with it. All right, now I know you guys can't smell it, but I'm going to get you as close as I can so you can see what it looks like. See how it's just starting to brown a little bit? Now is when you want to pull it off the heat. Get my coffee out of the way. Pull it off the heat. And add your meat into it. Now, it's only like 1:24 in the afternoon here. So I'm not actually going to boil the noodles because we won't eat for a couple of hours. And I don't know if most of you know this, but whenever I do something live or I do a video, it's generally something we intend to consume that day. Now, we are going to get that back on there. We're going to put it on low, which on my stove is like 2. If you have gas stoves, just turn the heat down a little bit. Okay, Pump, we'll see you in just a minute. So we're going to let that simmer for a few minutes. And then we're going to come over here. Because this is the recipe right here. I think it's backwards. Oh, well, that's no good. All right, well, what I'll do then, I'll make a post after this, or I'll add it to the description after we're done. So you guys actually have the recipe. I'm going to point the camera up a little bit. All right, there we go. So the next step for this one is to add your heavy cream and your Parmesan. So I'm going to take that up. Now, I will show you what kind of shells it recommends to use the first time. It actually recommends using shell pasta. The little, I say they look like little snail shells, but that's just me. That's what, you just boil those to however you want them done. I like mine a little chewy, but not much. So whenever that gets done, we're going to take this stuff over because you need heavy cream and Parmesan. Now, the shredded Parmesan actually melts better than the powdered Parmesan. So for sauces, I like to use it. Now I'm going to tilt you back down again so you can see what I'm doing. I wish there was a way to get better light here. Alright, I think it's not. Right. If I'm not standing in front of the light, it won't bother me. Now I think I can get you guys a better look. That's what it should look like before you add the cream sauce to it, or the heavy cream to it. So I like a lot of sauce. This only calls for a cup of heavy cream and a cup of Parmesan. But I got to thinking about that, and as many people as I'm going to be feeding tonight, that would leave my pasta kind of dry. And I like a lot of sauce. If you don't like a lot of sauce, do the 1 cup Parmesan, 1 cup heavy whipping cream. I am going to do 2 cups. I don't know why I set my measuring cup out of my way, but so I'm going to do 2 cups, which is 1 pint. 1 pint is 2 cups. Had to look that up because I have never needed to do the other measurement. And I'm trying to make sure that I give you guys measurements that will basically, so you don't have to translate your measurements from standard to metric. So it'd be 1 cup standard, 2 cups standard measurement, 1 pint. I believe that's still considered metric. I don't even know. So you add that in. Now this is 6 ounces. I can't remember how many ounces are in a cup. Oh well, it looks like about 2 cups. About half the jar. Now this is where you want to put it on low heat. Get your stuff stirred in really well before you really start giving it a stir on the stove, because you don't want to make a mess. For one, I'm pretty sure burnt heavy cream and cheese probably stink really bad. And then you set it back over the stove. Now this is a really, really simple recipe. Honestly, I believe I will have actually spent more time doing prep work for it than I will actually cooking it. This is one area where you're gonna want your whisk. Now, the last step will be, once you get your Parmesan and your sauce done up, your last step is to add your cooked noodles to the dish and stir it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. But I have a feeling that if I make this again, what I'll wind up doing is I will wind up removing the meat again from the pan and actually serving it on top of the pasta instead of stirred into the pasta sauce. But again, my big rule is anytime I try something new, I always make sure that I see how it's kind of getting stringy. I may need to add more milk to it, but we're going to wait for a minute to see if we need to add more milk. My rule of thumb is always make sure you do the recipe the way it states first, and then see if you need to make any adjustments. Because you may like it better right the way it is. Me, I always play with my food, so generally I will make adjustments to it, like the way I serve it or something like that. I don't always make adjustments to the recipe or the taste itself. I have a feeling this is going to be dandy. As a matter of fact, one rule of thumb as a cook, is always taste your food. That stringy that's getting, that's going to be good. That will cook down. Now your powdered Parmesan, it tries to clump up. So, first thing you want to do is get you a little sauce. You always want to taste your sauce. Well, you really want to taste your food before you serve it anyway. That's a really good flavor, but I would want more salt and pepper in it. It says salt and pepper to taste. I also know I am going to need more heavy cream. Probably should go with like 2 cups of heavy cream and 1 cup of Parmesan. I like my sauce to be a little creamy. I might have put more garlic in it too. If I'd have thought about it, I would probably have added another clove of garlic to adjust for the additional amounts of Parmesan cheese and heavy cream. All right, so this, I've already encountered one issue with the recipe, so we're going to address that right now. This recipe tells you to put it all in the pan, and I should have known better. I really should have, but this is not going to work. You are going to make a mess with your sauce, and you are not going to get it as creamy and smooth as you're going to want it. So what I would recommend is before you put the meat back in, unlike what the instructions say, before you put the meat back in, get your sauce creamy and ready. I understand they want to get all the flavors married in together, but sometimes you just got to play with your food. You got to adjust it. And I am really anal about my sauces being smooth. So I am just not going to be able to handle keeping the meat in there. It's going to have to come out. That's just all there is to it. That way I can get a good whip on the sauce and get that Parmesan mixed in really, really well. Yeah, I'm doing good. We're fighting with the meat because...
I've seen that, but I asked if you need me to come up and help.
Oh, no. I was just telling them that's something, like, sometimes you've got to make adjustments while you're cooking.
Right.
It says to put the meat in there while you're doing the sauce, but as I have encountered, that doesn't leave you enough room to really get your whisk going to mix your cheese and your milk product. So I just took that back out.
And I also have that.
Okay. No, this works fine. All right, so. No. I never have to scrap anything unless I burn it. That's the only time I can't save my own recipe is if I burn it. All right, well, you guys have fun with the creepy dolls. Okay. I'll have fun doing the cool cooking. One of these days, guys, what I'll do is I'll take you down there and we can laugh and joke about all the creepy dolls my mom has. None of them are haunted, but they all look like they should be. Which, that's just my opinion of dolls. I think every one of them look like they ought to be haunted, but we all know they're not. I really still think the creep factor on Annabelle was that it was a Raggedy Ann doll. That was weird. But anyway, I digress. So, as you can see, our sauce is really, really starting to come together. It does take a little bit of time. Parmesan is one of your drier, stringier cheeses. So it does take a little bit more effort to really get it to incorporate. And if you don't like heavy cream, you can do half and half. Say you need a lower fat option or you just don't like the heavy cream. One of the acceptable substitutions is half and half. Whatever you do, unless you want it to always be a very thin sauce, do not try using 2% milk. There is no dairy-based product that does well with 2% milk. I don't care what they tell you. Even if it says it in the recipe, you can guarantee that that recipe started out calling for either heavy cream or whole milk. And as you guys know, I'm not big on diets unless there's a medical reason for it. I've always believed that moderation and exercise are the key. My lack of ambition for exercise is why I'm carrying about 15 extra pounds right now. All right, so as you can see, you got just a little stringiness left. You want that, you want that. That's what will hold the sauce onto your noodles. That's also why you want to use the shells, because the shells are like little pockets for noodles. And now we're going to put our meat back in. Now we are going to stir it up. All right, shrimp. Not a problem. All right, now that is what your sauce should look like. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to look like the picture showed. That's why I said next time I do this, I probably will do it like the picture shows, and I'll just have like the steak bites and then the noodles on the side, because that just looks so much prettier than this. Although this is going to taste really good. So, oh, before I forget, I don't want to forget, need a little more salt and pepper, because it tasted really good, but kind of, I don't know, it was just missing something. Salt is not a bad thing when it comes to cooking. You can overdo it, but it's not a bad thing. A lot of times if you do just the amount, you don't actually taste the salt. It more pops the flavor of the dish. It gives it a little more punch, basically. I think I will also try this once or twice with some cayenne pepper. Maybe do it a little spicy. I'm not big on spicy stuff. So, okay, now it says to pull this off the heat and put a lid on it. Excuse me. Because you're supposed to let it stand for a few minutes before you serve it. And I have no idea where I put my bit. Okay, it's down here. There we go. So, the sit time is what is going to get all those flavors getting friendly together. It's going to give them all a chance to find out who likes who and who don't like who, and everybody get hitched before it's time to eat. We want all them flavors making friends with each other. And while we're doing that, I'm going to wipe my mess off the stove. Now, I will have to actually take a cleaner to it later, but you never want to leave the dairy product on your hot surfaces because, one, it'll stink, but two, especially with cheese, it turns to concrete. Like you could hurt somebody with it, kind of concrete. All right. Now, we're going to come back over here. So that really is, that's the whole recipe. It's a new recipe. It's one I really like. Or well, I think I'm going to really like it. You can do shrimp or chicken with this if you want to. If you're going to do shrimp, I would suggest one of two things. If you buy the pre-cooked shrimp, I would suggest heating it in hot water and then throwing it in at the last, because shrimp does tend to get rubbery. And no, Andrew, I'm not talking about you. It doesn't do well if you overcook it. Or you can use raw shrimp and do like I did with the steak bites. Just make sure to pull it back out once it's done so that you don't overcook it while the sauce is cooking. Oh, I better put this back in the refrigerator. Hold on. So never leave your kitchen a mess. Always play with your food. Don't overcook your shrimp. Actually, if you used shrimp for it, it would be kind of like a shrimp scampi, except for there's cream sauce in it, except for it's a cream sauce, instead of just butter and garlic. So we gotta wait for a few minutes. I'm gonna get me a drink of coffee because I love my coffee, although I may regret drinking it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or almost 2 o'clock. I need to get a belt. Should have picked a different pair of drawers too. All right. So I tried showing you guys the recipe, but I'm not sure how to flip the camera yet. So, all right. Now, there we go. Back in my natural habitat. I flipped the camera and forgot what I was going to say. So my train derailed, guys. It completely derailed. I can't remember what I was going to say, but it will probably come back to me at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll wake up out of bed and I'll be like, oh yeah. Yeah, it happens all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sit because I actually still have about 3 hours before we eat dinner. That's why normally I go live a little bit later, but I know Ches has got a live going on right after mine. That's why I started early, so that I could get mine over before her starts. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure. Let me try this. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that my chat hadn't gone, because it does that to me every now and then. Now, still can't remember what I was going to say, but it'll do. It'll do, it'll do. So I turned that one off. I had a second phone. Yeah, Pomp, I really wish I had one of those too. What kind do you drink? I like Guinness. If I have my choice, I like Guinness. It's a little beer, and one of the few over here that I think is comparable to the way it is served where you guys are at. I did not know that to actually go to school to learn to pour a proper Guinness, or at least that's what they tell you anyway. I can honestly say it's a very entertaining beer to watch too. I know, Pomp. They're just all going mad in chat, aren't they? I mean, just creating chaos. It's so hard for you to keep up. Let's see. I do need to go back up though. Hang on just a second. Huh. Shazza, I may have to go back in. Because you should be blue. And you are not. Like a dishwater. Well, now we can take a break for a little bit. Doing it live, I really like doing the shorter recipes live because, you know, I can get them done and then have time to chat with you guys afterwards. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, any questions about substitutions that can be made. So that's generally why I like to have a little bit of time after I'm done cooking. My next few are probably just going to be videos because, I mean, honestly, I got a job interview in the morning and I'm not exactly sure what my schedule is going to be yet. I do know Thursday, Friday, and Saturday probably will be spent at work. So I think he means you're not brave enough to start trouble, cat, but I know a lot of cats and they're pretty brave. But yeah, I mean, if anybody's got any questions, I forgot about Mr. Gray going live. I thought he changed his to Friday. Well, she's not trouble. Well, a cat's always behaving. Just like you, Pomp. You guys are always behaving. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. That's one thing about StreamYard I like better than Streamlabs is if I hit the wrong button and I accidentally go out, it doesn't actually end my stream. It allows me to go back in and reconnect. Honestly, I've been cooking since I was in my teens as far as just regular food, but when I was a kid, I grew up in the kitchen with my grandmas. So both of my grandmothers. I am lucky enough to still have one of them. And that's how I got started. But honestly, as far as the career goes, I was 18, 19 years old, I think, looking for my first job, and it come open, and I started doing it, and I realized that while I may not want to stay a fry cook, I did love cooking. And from there, it just kind of went. I used to love to draw and do stuff like that, But when I had kids, of course, you don't really have time when you've got 3 little ones running around to draw. So I learned to be creative with my cooking. It's kind of like my creative outlet. So, um, and then baking is another way of being creative because you can do all kinds of stuff with cakes. I mean, you can just do all kinds of stuff. I actually thought about maybe doing a few videos on those later on whenever I get a better setup because I really want to I want you guys to be able to really see what's going on. And maybe do some cake decorating because that's where you really can be artistic. Um, I know a lot of people that are like that. I really do. A lot of people that say they're not good in the kitchen. Um, but really, it comes down to the biggest thing I've found for most cooks is getting the timing right. Um, it gets frustrating when you trying to do something and the recipe won't come out right. But trust me, Kat, from somebody who has been doing it for 20 years, I still have bad recipes. It just takes patience, really. And you will get better the more you practice. The more you do it, you'll get better at it. My mom was a good cook. My grandparents were good. My grandmothers were good cooks, so I had a little bit of a leg up. But most people can learn to improve their kitchen skills. So what's getting boring, Pomp? What might be ending soon? Because I know you're back and forth between here and Mariah, right? For those of you who have chosen to stay with me, thank you very much. I really wasn't sure when I realized that Mariah was going to be going live with a premiere or going with a premiere today. I wasn't sure whether anybody would come in or not. It's like I told Pomp earlier, this kind of thing can always be rewatched, so I wasn't really worried about having a lot of people actually in. I will go back and watch. I may not watch the chat, but I will go back and watch her premiere. Who are you trolling? And if you're gonna be a troll, make sure you got the really pretty colored hair and the jewel in your belly, because you got to be a magic troll if you're gonna be a troll. Not the big scary green ones that like eat little kids. We don't want those. Um. Okay, so we're coming close to an hour. Here in just a minute, we're going to go back in and we're going to taste it after everything has had time to get together and party for a little while. We're going to taste the flavors, make sure it's done right. And that'll be the final step. Again, I can't express this too much. Always always taste your food. You're behaving. Are you, Paul? How boring. You're more exciting when you're not behaving. And I already told you, you don't have to behave in my chat. You can just be yourself because I don't see yourself as being anything out of control. So be you, yourself, and you. Make sure all three of your personalities are just being you. Because, like I said, I kind of depend on you being the one that goes, hey, you know what? If I'm offended by that, that's too bad. That's not bad. Your magic, whatever you do. Oh. I expected that. I don't think I would have expected it. I didn't expect quite that low tone of an answer though. I was kind of expecting something a little funny. That one is kind of funny though. Your magic, whatever you do. Oh, not gonna say it. Not gonna. You know what? I'm gonna say it. So does that mean you're magically delicious too? Sorry, guys. I had to throw that out there. I couldn't help myself. I wasn't trying real hard to help myself either. So, you know. So I did figure out if I ever want to join in with the Bingo Bollocks again and actually play, I'm gonna have to have two devices because I can't do split screen on this one anymore. I don't know what happened when I renewed YouTube or updated YouTube. It screwed some shit up. All right, so time to go back and test the food. You can't test your food when you first start putting the seasonings in. It just won't be good. I don't assume anything, Pump. I just know you're behaving. All right. Now, the sauce has actually thickened up a little bit, which is good. That's what we wanted. I'll show you here. So you see the sauce is thickened up. And we're going to taste it again. Because from this point, we are going to finish letting it get all together. Perfect. Now we lit it. Put the salt and pepper up. And well, if you come in here, Mom, and start vittle vulching on the food before dinner time, I will have to get you with a wooden spoon. And I know you heard that. I'll tilt that up a little bit so you're not staring at my boobs. There we go. All right, so that is the garlic butter and steak bites, or garlic butter steak bites, garlic steak bites and Parmesan noodles. Not an exceptionally difficult recipe. One that I think, because I love it, I love the flavor of garlic. I just do. One that I anticipate is going to be really, really good. In fact, I may be overstuffed by the time I'm done eating. All right, Mom. Well, you're going to have to fight Cat for it if you're going to do that. Now, you might see in chat where she put Hungry Hungry Hippo. Y'all have seen her. I think she's got cats that outweigh her. And she doesn't try. She's just got one of them kind of metabolisms that she can't hardly gain weight. uh, so somebody's bothering the neighbor dog. Wait, that's not the neighbor dog. That's Patsy's dog. He probably saw the cats. Because I think Pepper has been, like, basically aggravating, you know. No, I don't think it's Ginger. I believe it's Pepper. He's the one that likes to, do the aggravation thing. He's got the kind of attitude like he'll set up high enough that nothing can get to him and then try to make things come to him just so he can aggravate them. It's his like, seems to be his developing MO. However, as nice as it is today, they're all outside. Bartholomew might be inside here somewhere resting in a corner, but they're all outside. Not you, Paul. Mom's got a cat named Ginger. Oh. And I'm hoping that your hair doesn't just like randomly change colors, Pomp. If it does, you might want to get that looked at. Because, you know, that would be kind of odd if it did randomly change colors, yeah. Yeah, I know, you call her Ginger Snap. Ginger's not the one aggravating the dog, though. Oh, I firmly believe that he could. Yeah, yeah. I think he could. He does have those kind of skills. Or it strikes me as he does have those kind of skills if he wants to use them. So, I one thing I would like to do is get to the point where I can find out where I can pull up my list of people and actually read off who's in there. The participants, yeah, read off the participants. But so it's a superpower? Well, I mean, I can honestly say, Pomp, go ahead, have at it, man. Because I mean, like, even if you were over here, this country is so big that I probably wouldn't be anywhere near the. I can't even think of what you would call that. I wouldn't be anywhere near the disturbance unless you let me know where it was going to be so I can come and watch. Yeah, Mom, you got work to do. Epicenter. Yes, the epicenter of the event. Yes. Well, this one I think would. She's a cat. I'm pretty sure she'd have a lot of attitudes. Uh, I know, right? Now that must just be females because I've known a few ginger guys and they don't stink, and they don't generally have any more attitude than most other dudes. So I have seemed to notice though the redheaded ladies. Yeah, gotta be careful about them. They have a real short fuse, some of them, and you're never really sure what's gonna light the fuse. I've known a few ginger ladies that they were a little hard to handle. Yeah, fiery is a good word. Well, my cousin and my aunt were both redheaded, and boy, they were something else. Good ladies, just don't get on the wrong side of them. Didn't really want to see that. So, gotta watch those. Oh, sassy, yes. Or sassy. Brassy is another one. Brassy. My dad used to call them kind of women brassy. No, no, my tongue works fine. My brain doesn't work very well sometimes. Like I have trouble finding the right word to make my tongue speak it. Yeah, but that's because uh, I don't talk to people a lot in my daily life. I've tried to avoid them. You know, that's just me. I'm kind of a hermit. Or I used to be anyway. I get on here and talk to you guys now, and I'm not a hermit. I don't actually have to go outside and deal with real people. I can talk to you guys all day. Yeah, I know. But it's like groups of people exhaust me. I mean, they do. They exhaust me. Uh, Sometimes I get tied. I do. I get tongue tied sometimes. Like I'll try to say something and it won't come out right, and then you'll go, "Let's try that again." That's generally why, because I couldn't get my tongue to work right. And I am gonna go back. I am gonna go back though. I gotta remember to once it gets through processing through YouTube, I'll go back and put the recipe on there because, like I said, I didn't realize till I held it up in front of the camera that because I can't flip the camera on here to make it show outwards instead of me, that everything looks backwards when I hold it up. So, uh, typos, yeah. So I'm not so sure whether I do a lot of typos or whether autocorrect just like comes in because sometimes I'll do the voice to type to text, and I have kind of an accent according to Google, and it won't say like I'll try to do the voice to text. Done that with you a couple times, Pomp, and it always wants to say pimp instead of pomp or pump instead of pomp. I have no idea why. Hello, Luke. Nice to see you again. You missed the cooking portion. Actually, I think you saw most of the important stuff. It's really bad. Um, like Google tries to retranslate everything I say, and it's a good thing I go back and read over my messages because I I could get myself in trouble a couple of times with that, especially when I'm texting family. That can be really bad. Oh, I gotta get cross-legged here. So even though it's really warm here, the floor is cold. So now my feet are freezing because I run around barefoot most of the time. I don't like shoes. Clothes are fine as long as they're comfy, but I don't like shoes. I hate shoes. But I live in a cold climate, so if I don't wear shoes at least part of the time, I'll get frostbite on my feet, and I like my toes being where they're at. So I just have to deal with the shoes. And unlike when I was a kid, I don't go around barefoot as much as I used to, so my feet are a little more sensitive. When I was a kid, I used to be able to take on and down the road, and I didn't even feel the rocks under my feet. Now it's like, oh, ow, 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 that one was sharp. All right. Oh, I won't do that again. Apparently, whenever I pop my neck, everybody can hear it. Um, I tried to do that, cat. I really did a couple times. But like my feet, they sweat really bad. Um, I know, but what kills me, Pomp, is like I can go back and try to like just enunciate it really, really well. So like I know that it can hear what I'm saying, and it still wants to bring up the wrong word, and I'm like, why? Why can't you just type what I'm saying? I don't need you to translate it. I don't need you to guess. Just type what I'm saying. But, you talk to one of them while you're trying to make it type and it just repeats what you want it to say or what you're saying instead of what you want it to say. So I do have a pair of sandals though that I use during the summertime. During the wintertime I just try to avoid going outside so I don't have to wear shoes. When I do have to wear shoes, Try to make sure they're as comfortable as possible. I do the tennis shoes a lot because they're breathable. Although I guess I'm going to have to break out my non-slip steel toes to go back to work again. Yes, I wear steel toes in the kitchen. There's a good reason, because I'm a klutz and I drop things all the time. Or I get busy and I'm running around and I run my toes into stuff. So for me, if I'm out actually working, it's a self-defense for my feet to wear steel toes. Although in the wintertime, they also make my feet freeze, because when the metal in the steel toes get cold, you can't hardly warm it up. And your body heat ain't going to do it. But I've tried all kinds of slippers, house shoes, slippers, all kinds of stuff. Yes, they are. If I'd have thought about it, I'd have probably bought a pair of composite toe this last time, but they didn't actually have any. And for me, I like wearing the lace-up boots because I am a klutz again, but I also have weak ankles, and the boots provide a little more ankle support. So, which I guess, I can actually stand on my ankles. Like I can turn my feet in like this and stand on my ankles. So, all right, cool. Well, like everybody else says, real life is always going to come first. Um, Anything on YouTube can always be watched again. Make sure you take care of what you need to take care of first in real life, because that's the one you have to live in. Yeah, Pomp is still okay. We haven't stuck him in the naughty corner or anything like that. I can tell you on my streams, it'll take a lot to get you put in a naughty corner. Like if you get put in the naughty corner, you've really done something bad. Um, in fact, I don't even have a non. I don't know. I don't think I actually have a naughty corner. I think it's either just behave yourself or get out, pretty much. And so far, everybody just like, you guys are great. Just like the other lives I come into, you guys are good to each other. You're polite to each other. Tell all kinds of jokes. Sometimes they're off colored. Sometimes they're not. I do enjoy the off colored jokes best. Although Wayne's got some dad jokes. About half the time I want to face palm, but I'm still laughing. So that's always good. That's one thing I was always told. If you got to leave them laughing. Oh, it does. This community is great, Kat. I'm so glad I found it. But actually, that's a little funny. So one of the things I used to do for fun was I would watch like ghost videos. The Tim Morozov or something like that. I believe he's Russian. Was one of the first I found, and I mean, I knew it was entertainment, but hey, he could set up some pretty good stuff. I mean, like if you weren't expecting it, it would totally startle you. And then of course there was the Mind Seed, and yeah, I didn't really like them. I watched like 2 or 3 of their videos, and it was like, ugh, never mind. They're not entertaining enough, and they're too fake. Well, then, oh, thank you. Um, I actually like it. It's one of my cooler ones. There's layers to it, but it's really breathable material, so it's one of my favorite summertime shirts. And today is kind of summery around where I'm at. Anyway, so then I was watching one of those. As a matter of fact, I was watching one of the Mind Seed videos, and it was over, and Beardo pops up. Well, that was also during a time when I was going through some other stuff, and he pops up. I watched one of his debunking videos, and then he like recommending other people in the community and stuff like that. I'm going around and watching everybody, and I'm like, all right, I don't like all his recommendations, but these guys are pretty cool. So that's how I found the community, and I've been here annoying the crap out of everybody ever since. Although I think a few people are probably glad that I started my own cooking thing here because now I'm not going into everybody's lives and talking about food and making everybody hungry. Um, n- yeah, that's the reason why I did. And it saved me quite a bit. Uh, it was him, and then Mr. Gray was the next one. Parple. Actually, I guess I watched him, and he directed me to a couple of people, and found Parple and Mr. Gray about the same time. I'm absolutely thrilled about the fact that Parple's coming back. Uh, in fact, I've got it set to and before Beardo and all that, I had no idea that any of that was even out there. I mean, I knew there was like some ghost hunter dudes, but I had no idea the debunking community was actually here until I found Beardo, which I accidentally found him because he come up on a list of stuff after I watched a Mind Seed video. Hey, Mariah. I totally did not remember that you had a premiere today. I am sorry. It was like last minute when I realized it, but it took me about 30 minutes to really get going. So I am got to go back and rewatch yours though, because I caught the first part of it, and now I've got to watch the second part of it because I just can't not watch the second part of it. I know I love the fact that he's coming back to debunking. Um, I'm glad he took some time off though. Um, I think he needed it. It's hard to do the same thing all the time without taking some kind of a break. And whenever you're on YouTube like this, one thing I'm finding is that uh crap, I lost track of my thoughts again. Oh, there we go. Okay, restart. So one thing I've found is on YouTube, to really get a good part of it, and to really kind of build your channel, you've got to put stuff out almost all the time. If you want to see any kind of rapid growth, which I'm not worried about. Honestly, I started this because you guys all thought it was I wanted to, and then you guys were all like, yeah, you might as well go ahead, and then as the community kind of gave me the support to do it, and so I did it. So I really don't care if anybody but this community ever sees one of my videos. Um, because that's just the way I feel about it. No big explanation there. Um, I love you guys too. Honestly, it's been great finding this community. I know my journey over the last year or two has seen some come and go from people that you're daft, Pomp. Everybody loves you. Anyway, I've seen some that I was interested in, and then I'm okay. Well, they're not really my cup of tea, so I'd go on. But for the most part, yeah, I'm I'm loving the fact that I found this community, and I love everybody in it. Pomp, if I could reach through this, if I could reach through this wall right now, I would take a rolled up newspaper. Oh crap! Hold on. There we go. Wait, there we go. I would take a rolled up newspaper and I will bop you on the nose like a bad puppy. We all love you. So knock that crap off before you make me mad. So that's just all it is. But oh, I do know Cheza is going to be live here. I think about 45 minutes she'll go live. And I will be in there for a little while, but I don't know how long I'll be in there. Because, of course, I mean, I've got to eat here in about an hour. So I'll just probably have to take a. He is adorable, isn't he, Mom? See, Pomp, even my mom says you're adorable. So there. And she's almost never wrong. And I do believe she's Not by a whole lot, but I do believe she's your elder, so you have to listen to her. Can't disagree with your elders. Well, you can, but don't disagree with her because she's got a point. That's my mom. The lady that you saw on video earlier. Her name is actually Angela. So she don't bite, Pomp. Well, she does, but she won't bite you. But she doesn't have fleas anymore either. So we're good there too. And I can tell you this, she loves to hug people. So like if any of you ever actually met her, she would not even like you probably wouldn't even get through the introductions before she just like hugs you. That's just her. That is her introduction. Hi, my name is. Alright, somebody's phone is going off. Hey, Ma, I think Patsy's phone's up here going off. It's got a wah, wah, wah. Well, it quit now, so it must have been an alarm. She's got her alarm down there with her? Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so anybody, if you ever see the Angela Fisher in the chat, which you probably will pretty much anytime I'm live or doing a video, or at least pretty often anyway, that's my mom. So she's the I'd like to say she created this mess, but honestly, there's a lot of people in my family that contributed to this. I can't blame it all on her. Yeah, Pomp, she's my mom. I promise that I'm not randomly invading people's kitchens. So I do actually know everybody that whose kitchen that I ever have cooked in. Like you've seen my kitchen once or twice. It's actually been Mom's kitchen you've seen more often than not because I'm usually up here when I cook because well she slave drives me and makes me cook them dinner. So you know. I think I. Ah, oh, that's right. Oops. Well, so I have a light on this stand, and I tried to turn it on earlier. I think I need to charge it, but I believe that might have helped earlier if I could have turned the light on for you guys actually being able to see around the pan. But no biggie. I'll remember to charge it next time, maybe. Probably. Yeah, I won't guarantee it, but I'll try to remember to charge it next time. Uh-oh. Okay. Hopefully that won't affect anything, but I'm starting to see like I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but I just saw a little circle again. Yeah, see, there's 8 people in here, Pomp, and I'm at the bottom of chat. Thank you very much. I just sometimes get distracted. Hi, Julie. You are never late. We always show up when we intend to, or when we are supposed to. I can't remember what that was. Well, how about we do not do that and we just throw you up, like toss you in the air. I'm also well aware that I say things that can sometimes be taken the wrong way. So go ahead. If I ever say anything that's joke worthy, make the joke. Don't hesitate. Don't hold back. Precisely when we mean to. That is it. Yes. So I am a Lord of the Rings fan. I love Lord of the Rings. Did not so much like The Hobbit. I preferred that. I preferred the book. I don't think they really did the book justice when they made the movie. Um, Kind of like Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I know that's really weird, but I grew up watching Star Wars and stuff like that. And I've read the books. And I don't know if they came after or before the movies, but it was kind of, or not the book. What were they? I guess it was kind of the script. Yeah, I have all of them. But anyway, Star Wars. They didn't have the actual technology to make the effects like George Lucas wanted to. So when they went back and they remastered Star Wars, they put in some of the stuff that like they didn't have the first time, like the Jabba the Hutt scene with the Han Solo, where he walks around him. In the remake, he actually steps on Jabba's tail, and that's how it was supposed to have looked the first time. Um, yeah, I loved the book. In fact, I loved all the Lord of the Rings books. I've even read the Silmarillion and all that because I love the lore history. But I think they could have. I think they could have done it a little bit better. Um, but it's kind of like with Lord of the Rings. As much as I love them, I'm disappointed in some of the stuff that they left out. Um, I do know Tom Bombadil, unless you really put some thought into it and read between the lines, did not affect the way the story moved forward. I just kind of liked it. I thought it was neat. It's good to hear you doing better than you were this morning, Luke. It's always better. It's always nice to have an improvement. Okay, so it took me a while to get through that. It really was that one was a hard read. Mostly because it was just so damn confusing during part of it. I did find out that, however, when I read it later as an adult, because the thing is I've always been a big reader, even when I was a kid. So the first time I tried to tackle it, um, I was like, I don't know, 12 the first time I tried to tackle the Silmarillion. And some of those books, some of the history books that go with it. Um, as an adult, I was able to get through it a lot better. Um, although I did still have to take notes on some of the names because they sound so similar that it was like, oh, wait a minute, is that this person or this person? So I would have to take notes to kind of keep myself straight. But there's been a couple of series like that that I've gotten into in my life. I found one years ago called The Sword of Truth. And I read the first 4 books and I simply could not finish the series because, quite honestly, it was the same stinking book every time. The only thing that changed was the names of the locations, and they would mess with the actual details a little bit. But I mean, you could read it and realize, okay, so well, crap, it's going to be the same thing again. The names are different, but it's going to be the same thing again. So I never finished reading that one. That might be the only series that I've never been able to finish, but I just cannot make myself go back and read another 10 books that are the same as the first 4. Um, the author really kind of dropped the ball on that one. They should have ended that one a lot sooner than they did. I think they just drug it out too long and got bored with it. That seemed to me like the ending of that one seemed like it was more about the money that was being made than the actual. Yeah, hun, it didn't take very long. Um, I picked a short one for this live. It was a new one though. Um, but it wasn't. It didn't take very long. It is a fairly simple recipe too. I don't know what time it is where you're at, but if you wanted to go back and watch it, I'm going to be ending here in about 20 minutes anyway, because I want to end and get everything shut down before Cheza starts her live. That's part of the reason I went as early as I did. Like I said, I wish I had remembered that Mariah had a premiere today before I actually had my time set. But with everything I was doing, and with me, starting a different job tomorrow and all that, I'm pretty sure once I go in and sign the paperwork, they're gonna have me work that shift. So I'm not really sure right now when the next time I'll actually have not only the time but just the energy to do another live, because I don't want to come out here and have the camera turned on and look like a bag full of smashed assholes. So yeah, that does now. I will still be doing videos, because those I can kind of squeeze those in. I don't have to have internet service to be able to record the video. I could do the video before I go to work, and then while I'm at work, I can get the video loaded. Well, like I said, though, there are a few people I don't like missing when they go live or have a premiere, and you guys are one of them. This was just kind of, I actually wanted to do this tomorrow, and go on before Purple, because I know there's not usually a whole lot going on Thursday afternoons as far as the people that I'm familiar with. But whenever I found out I've got to go do a job interview tomorrow, which is kind of a formality because I know the people I'm going to be working for, um, I'm like, yeah, I better go ahead and do it Wednesday. Which I even thought that Mr. Gray had moved his bingo bollocks to Friday because he was going to talk about doing the Friday schedule. Um, but yeah, so it was kind of one of those things where I kind of had to condense my time schedule. So I think hopefully when everything gets settled out, I know Saturday or Sunday has started getting kind of busy, but if I do lives, it will probably have to be Sundays. Because I imagine with me working the rest of the week, I'm gonna have to use Wednesday to go take care of my bills and my shopping and stuff like that. Because out where I'm at, there's not a whole lot open on the weekend as far as taking care of business goes. And if it is open, generally it's only open till about 10 or noon. So we'll get all that worked out though. And like I said, for a little while, I may just have to do videos and then kind of pop in whenever I've got the time if I want to do a live. But that's what's going on in my world for the next few weeks or next couple of weeks. Now, once I get used to my schedule, it'll be easier to go ahead and do lives because, well, I'll be used to it and I'll be sleeping at the proper times and eating at the proper times and you know. But that first couple of weeks, I imagine it's gonna be a little rough. Uh, you guys will probably be glad that I'm not doing lives because yeah, when I haven't had enough sleep, not only am I grouchy as hell, like I'll get so grouchy I'm like, seriously? Calm your ass down, kid. It ain't that big a deal. Um, but I look really rough when I haven't had enough sleep, which doesn't bother me too bad, but like I don't want to scare children, so and this can scare kids sometimes when I'm not in the right frame of mind. uh well, I try to be sweet, Mariah. I really do. Actually, it's because I just like watching you guys, so I don't want to miss it whenever you guys premiere. So, oh, okay, so crap. Okay, so I literally just had something I wanted to say, and I think the conductor hopped out of the train and let it run off the tracks. Darn conductor! I need to hire a new hamster. Probably ought to grease the wheel a little bit too, because it's kind of squeaking in there. Oh, I think I am going to have to see a chiropractor. I don't like doctors, but I think I might wind up having to. My neck shouldn't feel like it needs to pop this much, but you know, All right, there we go. Now, hopefully, since that's my last cup of coffee for the day, I won't still be awake at 12 o'clock midnight. Because I've actually already been up since about 5 a.m. So, yeah. I gotta get used to staying up later at night, though, because I do know that this schedule is going to be like, they don't open till like 4 o'clock. So, it's going to be like a 4 to 11 kind of thing. And it's been years since I've worked, at least a year or so before, since I've worked night shift. So, yeah. It's going to be fun. Alright, there we go. So the sunlight outside keeps changing, so I have to keep moving the camera a little bit as the sun goes down. Because otherwise, I look kind of like a Halloween mask. Like half of my face will be dark and the other half will be light. It'd get all crazy. Oh, okay. So, one of my videos that I posted about the snow and everything, like mom showed outside where it was snowing and all that. It was one of the videos that was taken at dark. I had a lady pop up that thought she saw a figure standing out at the edge of the light between the two trees. And I didn't think anything about it. I seen the message there for like a week. And then I went back and watched it. And I realized what she was seeing. She was seeing the flagpole and the statues. That because of the wind and dark and light behind me, light behind mom on the porch light and reflecting out of the snow, I saw what she was talking about. But I had to go back. I'm like, really? This is not a paranormal channel. Why would there be something like that on my phone? That's like the first thing I've ever had happen like that, though. It was kind of weird. Actually, kind of funny. But I explained it to her, and then she didn't answer back. So if you see it, it's not anything paranormal. It's environmental, I should say. It's the environment and the contributing factors. All right, so who all is still in here? Okay, quick question. Occult Life, the last message I see is the smiley faces with the hearts. Is that the last message that's been put up? Because every now and then I kind of have to wonder whether my chat's still going. And I'm probably worried about that for nothing, but I had some hiccups with it early in my live streaming episodes. So I'm a little paranoid about it. And then with the live stream the other day when it kept buffering and ending and all that, I'm like, so I'm a little paranoid. I just want to make sure that I'm not, make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, no, I get quiet in chat too sometimes. Unless I'm the one in front of the camera, and then I kind of feel like I have to keep talking, because otherwise, what's the point? Alright guys, so in about 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I see it working. You're coming up. Like you said, when it stops like that, though, I just, sometimes I'll ask that question just to make sure that my end is still rolling. That's the doorbell.
From out there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, this is supposed to be the bathroom.
No, when the cats are outside running around, sometimes they'll set off the motion alarms.
Okay.
I'm glad mom has one that goes ding 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 instead of one that's really annoying.
I think it's because I'm walking the dog.
Yep.
And I don't do that much exercise.
So, Julie, you guys are still there? Cool.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it, Patsy. But yeah, you know what I mean, Mariah. Like I said, I know several of us that are just getting started on this live journey, which you guys aren't just getting started, but you know what I mean. It can be kind of tricky when you first get started. I've learned way more about my phone and technology during this journey than I ever knew before in my life. Literally. And I never thought I'd learn it for fun, but I can't say this is a job. It's definitely not a chore to do. I like doing it. So the base does not spin. All right, just learned something new about my stand too. So it's a tripod, and like the two. Really? Oh, I just seen that on there. So you guys have gotten to your 2-year mark too, then. Congratulations to both of you. I don't know if I'll still be here that long. We'll just have to see. Actually, I probably will be. I don't know if I'll have anybody watching, but I'll be there. I've never minded talking to myself. It has been pretty cool watching everybody grow. Seeing some people that didn't do it or that hadn't done it before doing it now, and it's just kind of nice. It's nice to see. It's nice to see so many different interests too. You know, we're all part of the same community and all that, but then I'd like seeing the channels that are going on to their personal interests too. Like I love watching you guys, like watching you make the blood and stuff like that. Um, I still have to let my mom. I still have to go back and let my mom watch that video because she has plans for Halloween now. Uh, yeah, I hope I am too, Mariah. I hope I'm still here in 2 years. No matter how much I've grown or not, I hope I'm still here in 2 years. Definitely. Okay, I need to quit smoking. I need to quit smoking. I keep telling myself that, but I've given up pretty much every vice I had except for this. And unfortunately, as unhealthy as this is, it probably should have been the first one I gave up. See, that was my thing. I'm good with keeping a small channel. Especially as far as my lives go. Um, if the viewership on my videos just goes crazy, that's cool, that's great. But I'm I'm basically have to make myself be as interactive and all that. Honestly, if it was anything but cooking, I probably wouldn't. Uh, Probably wouldn't be as active. Um, but I am comfortable with what I'm working with, so I like being in everybody's audience. Honestly, um, only once in 2 years have I ever gone into a live that I didn't want to be in. Um, I have come into some lives at very odd times. I have no idea why, but it seems like every time I come into a live that's already started, I'm coming in on either a dirty joke or a fart joke. But you know, start the day with a laugh. Why not? Um, I'm not really sure if I would like to be full time or not. I guess I haven't gone that far into it yet to really see if this is something that I would like to do full time. Luke, if you go over on my page, you are going to find that except for my cooking videos, there are actually different ones. YouTube algorithm likes for you to have a basic channel topic, I think. But I'm as liable to post a video of my fish tanks or just driving around in the country where I live as I am to put a cooking video up. And really, it depends on how fast you want to grow. I did watch some of the tutorials for YouTube and all that, and it does kind of look like if you brand your channel, basically, say this is what I'm going to be doing, it seems to help out more. Me, I don't want to, haven't decided whether I want to do that yet. But yeah, I mean, post your video. I didn't have a topic when I started posting videos. If you go back and look, honestly, I'll tell you this, if you go back and look, what's on there most is, until I started doing cooking videos, was like drives in the country, fish tanks, stuff like that. So post what interests you, and if you want to, maybe do a few different types of videos and just see which ones, which ones take the best, if that's what you want to do, and then decide from there. Or, do like a lot of us do and make what makes you happy, and people of like mind will find you and be your friends and join your channel. That's one thing Sarah said, and I firmly believe it. You can have all the subscriptions you want, but if they're not actually interested in your channel, they're not going to come back and view. So, what's the point? That's why, I love the support that I've gotten, but I am hoping that everybody who is subscribed to my channel actually finds something on there that they're interested in and aren't just a subscriber because they got pointed out. I make this content because I enjoy it, but I also want people who come in to watch it to enjoy it too. She is very wise. I love Sarah. She is a very wise lady. Hopefully I will reach that level of wisdom one day. I think she is she is. I don't know if she really gets the acknowledgement for that. There, that's there are several channels that have that make those their main things. Some of them debunk and game, and some of them game and do reactions, and some of them do all of it. Yeah, I don't think she gets the credit for being the glue as much as she should, but I'm not sure she would take the credit either. But she is, and I love watching her art streams. And the way her and Phil interact, it's just like those two are great together. I don't know how they ever decided to team up. I keep forgetting to ask, but I do know that is one team that just works really well together. Sorry guys if I look intent. Yeah, let us know. We will all help you spread the word around. The goat. The goat. Elaine Baker is the goat. Did you mean goat? Or did you mean something else? She said she didn't remember. Oh, the go-to. I think you meant go-to, but it came out goat. Autocorrect strikes again, maybe. I love the masks she makes. Great. Okay. Okay. Because I don't know about everybody else, but when you get called a goat over here, it's kind of not really a compliment. They're calling you a stubborn, basically. And kind of the same thing if they call you a mule or tell you you're mule-headed. Basically, you're stubborn. Oh crap, guys! I went a little longer than I thought. Is that what it means, Luke? Well, I'm a little old-fashioned, so to me, when you call somebody goat, it you know, means a little different. That's one of them generational things. And I am a full generation older than Luke, so I have noticed that some of the slang that like my grandparents used or that I use or my mom and dad used means something different when my daughter uses it, and it's kind of crazy. Like the American version of the English language isn't hard enough to learn. But yeah, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Yeah, that's the prefix for it now. I need to get off here and get a couple things done before Cheza starts her live. Like, it's starting to cool off here, so I'm definitely gonna go put a warmer shirt on. And I will let you guys know. Well, I'll tell you what. If you see me in Parple's live tomorrow, you know I didn't have to work. If you don't see me in Parple's live tomorrow, then you know I had to work, which will be complete bummer because I really want to go to Parple's thing. So, anyway, love you guys. And I will see you either for my next video or my next live stream. Like I said, if I'm there tomorrow, you know I'm free. If I'm not, that means I'm working my butt off somewhere. So anyway, bye guys, no awkward ending, and good night.